We are live.
Greetings, Jaguars. Welcome back to another episode of Jag-Talk After Hours.
Keep putting in that work. Keep putting in that work. You know why? You were almost there. You were almost there. It's going to pay off. It's going to pay off. And they don't want you to know that. They don't want to give you that.
My name is Vibra Hopkins. You're this week's host. You might have heard my voice before. I've been on the mic with the regular show, Jag-Talk, before, so nice to put a face to the name, to the voice. So I'm here with Mike Jones. Can you give us your classification, major, where you're from, and kind of what you do around campus?
So basically, I'm an athlete at Southern University. I play linebacker. I'm a senior currently. And my major is history. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole gist of me.
All right.
I love Black history too. Love Black history.
You're giving them a sneak peek. Okay.
They're gonna find out.
You're gonna find out soon.
They're gonna find out, man.
Okay, but how have you been though?
I've been good, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, getting everything ready for the season during the spring. Like, conditioning, working out.
Right. It's
a full-time job for real, being a student athlete. But I've been pretty good for the most part.
Okay, so are you doing anything exciting for spring break, or you just...
Honestly, I'm probably just gonna be chilling at the crib back in Houston, man.
Okay.
I ain't gonna be doing too much.
Right.
I seen they got the little Baywatch thing going on, but
I did see that. I'm like kind of sad I'm missing it, but
I went there last year. I mean, once you go to one, it's like you ain't really missing out. Like, you already know what to expect. So
right. Okay. So without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and get into what we're gonna talk about. So Black History Month just ended, but that does not mean the conversation has to. So today we're going to be talking about African Americans breaking generational curses. Mm-hmm. So I want to ask you, in your own words, in your own understanding, what is a generational curse?
Basically, a generational curse to me is like, certain things that happen in your lifetime or your family, and it's like it's hard to break that bondage. You know what I'm saying? Whether that might be from white supremacy, institutional racism. But it's like a weight that's on your shoulders as soon as you're born. As soon as you're born with this skin color, you automatically have curses on your family. And it's like, it's hard to break them. You're always doing wrong. You can't never seem to do right. You're always in jail. You always got baby mama issues. Mm-hmm. That's what that is to me. Yes,
I agree. I think, in my words, is basically something that you're doing wrong that was adopted by your parents and maybe their parents' parents.
Absolutely,
and then it's going to affect your children and their children's children.
Bad habits, yeah.
So forth, right. So, do you have an example? Have you seen generational curses, like a manifestation of that?
Oh, yeah.
Can you give us an
Especially
example?
like with credit.
Like credit score?
Yeah, a lot of our people, like, we don't know nothing about no credit.
Right.
We got bad credit. We want to go buy Hellcats and, you know what I'm saying, go be a city girl. What's wrong with your credit, baby? You know what I'm saying? You can't put no down payment on no house, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Worry about the wrong thing.
Worry about the wrong thing.
We'll get into that. So, I want to talk about things that can be done to break these generational curses, such as voting. So voting season is going on not only on SU campus, but in the real world. So I think it's very important to just educate ourselves on the candidacies, because I think a lot of times we think Democrat and Republican and that's it, and we're going to vote Democrat. While voting Democrat can help, because I wouldn't want to vote Republican.
Well, honestly, I think that's a distraction. When people say they vote Democrat or Republican, basically you got to understand, like, the popular vote does not matter. The electoral colleges matter. Mm-hmm. What's really going to matter in terms of changing your community is the government. The governor, the mayor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People that are actually in your community aside from the president. The president not going to change the gas prices in your community. Right. Your mayor and your governor is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think
I feel like people be getting too wrapped up into that, man. Like,
oh, for sure.
Especially like with the last election, not the recent one, with the one with Hillary. And they was like, but Hillary got the popular vote. How did Donald Trump? Electoral college matters, bro. Mm. It's the electoral college that matters. Like, people brainwash us into thinking that, like, oh, the popular vote is the one that matters. No, sir, it does not. We brainwashed into thinking that.
Right. I think we, like you said, oftentimes overlook the local elections, because those are the ones that's going to most likely affect your life.
Yes, exactly,
right? Yeah. Rather than the big presidential election, which the president, like, we have checks and balances. The president doesn't have all the power that we think they have. They're just the face of America. Now, that matters, but local elections matter more. And then you were talking about it earlier, credit score.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we increase our financial literacy?
Really increase your financial literacy in terms of like just habits, like spending habits.
Right.
You know, having multiple credit cards but not paying off your credit cards is bad. Mm-hmm. Especially in college, you see a lot of our fellow African Americans doing the same thing in college. Like we'll make these mistakes in college, and then we'll have student loan debt on top of that. We just all out of whack. You know what I'm saying? You got
right.
student loan debt, you got the credit card you got to pay off, you got car note you got to pay off. Just learn about real estate. I feel like real estate is something that everyone should be literate on. Like just real estate, yeah.
Okay, because I feel like if I touch on this situation, I'm just gonna be a huge hypocrite. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'll be like, where did I spend my money at? Like, where did my money go? But I need to be more conscious of where I'm spending it, and it adds up. I think, it's just $5.
Yeah, minute things, but it add up. You know what I'm saying?
Really does
it makes it so easy to just put your chip in or whatever, and then just boom. Oh, where my money go?
And not gonna lie, that's why I also low-key like carrying cash. Like I see it, I physically see it going away. Yeah. Rather than my card, I'll check my account later. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I also think we need to start teaching kids about this like when they're young, because I think we think, when I turn 18 or when I become an adult or when I'm a high schooler, but like it all starts very, very soon.
Yeah, you want to get them mentally ready for it, because I know a lot of people that I grew up with in high school, like we'll graduate high school and it's like, oh snap, I'm in the real world now. Because a lot of people didn't go to college. That's just reality. Like, so it's like you graduate high school, like, damn, I'm a grown up now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So. And
like you said, with debt and loans and paying off school loans later on.
Oh yeah, life gonna hit you.
Right, and it's just like you have to apply to like scholarships soon so that you can prevent that, because if you start applying to scholarships while you're in college, those loans are still gonna add up.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, I know people when they 50 still paying off their student loans, dog.
Yeah.
So.
I'm so scared. Anyways, but moving on, transitioning to our next topic. Valuing materialistic things.
Oh, this is a good one.
Because I feel like you said, buying Hellcats, SRTs, whatever Sexy Red said, like, I feel like we glorify materialistic things and then, boom, our money's gone. Like,
I feel like as a people, this is our biggest problem. It's our biggest problem. Because what we'll do is like, for example, I'll make an example of different races too. So say in the Asian community, right? And notice how I said community, they have communities. They don't have, neighborhoods like in the hood, we'll have a Chinese banking, and then we'll have like a European gas station. Nothing is black owned anymore. That's why we have neighborhoods instead of actual thriving communities. You see what I'm saying? So, and it all goes back to materialistic things, because we gonna buy stuff instead of pouring it back into the community. We're gonna buy the new J's. Who cares about the new J? We're gonna buy the new Benz. Who cares about the new Benz? Bro, literally, like, black people as a whole in America, annually, trillions, billions of dollars. We don't got no black-owned school.
Right.
We don't got no black-owned supermarket.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I feel like that's our biggest thing. And really, if you want to be honest, the music industry goes right into that. As far as materialistic things,
it encourages that.
Oh, most definitely. Matter of fact, I watched this one podcast, who was it? Meek Mill. He was like, yeah, they pay us more when we talk about drugs and violence. They telling you in your face, but you still gonna buy the new album.
Right.
You still gonna buy the new Glock. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That stuff really don't matter, bro. When you really grow up, none of that stuff matters, dog.
Wake up. And I remember as a child, now I'm very grateful for my parents and the house that I lived in, and the neighborhood that I lived in, but going to school, if I went to school in Oak Cliff, if y'all know anything about that, but I went to school in Oak Cliff, and
I know about Oak Cliff,
right, and I never really had like the new shoes or like name brand stuff like that, and I'll be like looking around and everybody got that stuff, and I'm just like, well, dang, like, am I poor?
Did you miss out though?
But like when
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like you missed out. Look where you at. You in college.
I don't think I missed out.
I know a lot of people that went to Oak Cliff.
Right, and then, but when you go home, they'll have an eviction note on their house, on the front door. But that's besides the
That's
point.
facts. That's facts.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
I feel like you threw a slug at somebody. I don't know. I don't know who it was. I'm like, damn.
Remember when?
My shit got a big deal. I'm like, what?
No, but I'm saying like.
Nah, but I see what you're saying. Though.
It looks all pretty on the outside, but when you look on the inside, like they're not. Yeah, like I really had it better, even though it didn't look like I had it better. Like my parents were pouring money into my college, like savings, rather than the shoes that I got on now.
The outside look nice, but how's your interior? How's your soul? You know what I'm saying? Is it really as glorious and beautiful as it is on the outside?
Right. Because people invest in their exterior looks and stuff like that.
Instead of working on self, instead of meditating, you know what I'm saying? Instead of going to praise the Lord.
Right.
So that's the main problem we got.
Okay. So, moving on to our last topic, life as Black college students. Now, you know, we're all students of HBCUs, so we all are living testimonies of the importance of an HBCU and like what it can create for our community. But we're under attack, like. And,
absolutely, we've been under attack. We're gonna stay under attack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I want to talk about how there's a Senate Bill 2726 that could possibly shut down 3 HBCUs in Mississippi.
I seen that. I remember I was talking to one of my teammates about that. Same thing. Honestly, I think it's really one school that's really in danger of closing down entirely. I think that's Mississippi Valley. As far as Alcorn and Jackson State, I think they have enough resources to keep them together and hold them together. Do I think it's right? No, because even one HBCU, first of all, is too many already. So, but as far as all 3 of them, I highly doubt that. But I think Mississippi Valley is probably the most in danger, though.
And then, okay, so this bill was passed by Republican Senator John Polk. And it basically is saying that the state is spending too much money on universities that have a declining enrollment. So with the enrollment part, I feel like we definitely as a Black community can encourage our children and our little sisters and siblings to enroll in HBCUs and go to HBCUs, and the education is just as good as a PWI. But it's funny how they're talking about how they're pouring too much spending into these schools. But then the next thing we're going to talk about is how we've been gypped money, like we've been stolen money. We have not been receiving our funds, and it's not just Southern University. It's also a lot of schools, HBCUs in the South, land-grant schools, that have not gotten their money. So North Carolina calculated $2 billion in disparities. We have Florida A&M, $1.9 billion. We have Tennessee State, $2.1 billion. Prairie View and Southern, both $1.1 billion, underfunded compared to the land-grant institutions in their states like LSU and like Houston University.
So what I feel about that whole conversation is that we all know that we've been getting gypped for years, thousands of years, since they didn't brought us over for Africa and brought us in here.
Right.
But as far as us being shortage, it's probably more than that. As far as like reparations, which honestly I believe probably won't ever happen realistically.
Yeah.
Because when you open a conversation for reparations for the Black community, now you got the Latinos, like, okay, now you got the natives, okay, where they got the Asian, and you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's kind of unrealistic. As far as the $1 billion, that's a lot. Ain't a lot.
It's a lot of money, and it's over a span of time.
But that's the reason why they're doing this. I think the goal is to absolutely shut down all HBCUs in general. I think Biden has made it very apparent that, for example, I think it was a bill last year. Did you know that the HBCU bill that they usually give us, like as far as aid, they mixed it in with LGBTQ, they mixed it in with the left. Then we're not one sole separate minority anymore. They want to mix it all together. Right. So automatically, when you mix a group of people's problems all together, now this one group is getting looked at less than the other.
Right.
Because now we're all one thing. Absolutely not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The reason for HBCUs in general was back when Jim Crow was going around, so that African Americans could have a safe environment to learn from. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't go to, as far as Louisiana, LSU back then. You couldn't go to no LSU back then. Mississippi, you couldn't go to no Mississippi State back then. Super racist, super Jim Crow. So I feel like, man, I think it's just an attack on all HBCUs, and I think it's just the beginning. Like, they showing it in your face now, But it's like, what are we gonna do as a collective? You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're gonna protest. Okay, cool. What's gonna happen from that? You see what happened when BLM was going on.
Right.
We protested and protested and protested, but where'd all that money go though? Where'd all that money go though? You know what I'm saying? It ain't go back to the community. It went back to them undercover. And it's sad because it was black women that were over the whole movement and funding it. And they living in $1 million mansions, and when you try to get a interview out of them, they duck and hide. It was undercover agents. Like, y'all gotta look into that too, man.
That's another thing. Like you said, undercover. There's a lot of things that's happening under the surface that we're not even realizing. But like also back with the materialistic things, like we're not investing. Like even if we have that right idea, we're not implicating like how it used to be implicated. Okay, so I think that concludes the conversation, y'all. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Jag-Talk After Hours. Again, I'm your host, Vibra Hopkins.
And I'm Mike Jones.
Right, and don't forget to follow on Instagram, @SouthernU_OSM for daily content. Keep up, know when another episode's gonna be dropped, and have a good spring break, y'all.
You are watching a master.
Oh, we want that car bad.
You know how to be like, it's plenty fish in the sea. No, that's my fish. I want that one.
That's
My
mine.
fish.
It's my fish. I caught it with my rod.
With my nets.
My rod with my bait. I want it.
Like,
I'm gonna
that
cook,
was tough.
fry, and fillet. No bones.